Hey guys, I'm back. We haven't looked at any new flashlights in a while, so we're going to look at a company that I feel really bad because they sent me these samples a while ago and they just sort of got lost in the move. Not lost in terms of losing the flashlights, just they got put away in a box. These actually traveled with me, not in the moving truck, and they just sort of, they've been in storage here with all my stuff. And I was talking to another company that wanted to send me some samples of stuff, and in going through my other flashlights I realized I never did this video. I feel horrible, so I apologize to Lighting Ever, who actually makes a great product. How good? After I looked at these initially, because I've already kind of looked at these lights, I went and I bought another one. I mean I bought one, you know, after looking at these samples with my own money, because they had another model that I really wanted to try and take a look at. So these are good flashlights, I think. I like their performance, I like their features, and we're gonna look at them. We're gonna do one at a time though. So you'll see this little intro in both of the review videos that we do. I also want to take a moment to say that due to kind of popular request, I have made a DocP91B Facebook page. A lot of folks have messaged me or asked that in comments, you know, why don't I have an Instagram? Why don't I have one? So you guys can look me up now on Facebook, DocP91B. You can go and like that page and follow that page. A lot of people want to know, what am I carrying? You know, what's my daily EDC? What am I working on from day to day, you know, in between the times I'm posting videos? And that's a great place for me to do it. It's another great place for people to ask questions and stuff, and for me to sort of give you an idea of what I'm working on in between video posts and things like that. So go ahead, look it up, DocP91B. I'm on there. Cool. So the first one we're going to look at here, and the model number is, it's a little crazy, 1200019. Yeah, it's a big model number. It's a fairly small aluminum body. They call it tactical, you know, the magic T word. Fairly high-powered rechargeable flashlight. And you know what? They've got all sorts of information on the box, which is right here, which is cool. So I don't have to put text in, which is awesome. Give you guys a second to absorb all that. So in the box, you get some little instructions. You get the light itself. Inside the light is an 18650 rechargeable battery, and you get a USB charging cable. And why? Because you have the option to either take the battery out and put it in a charger, or you can recharge the battery simply by plugging in the USB recharging cable and plugging it into something, which is pretty cool. I say pretty cool way too often, but that's a nice feature. So you can, if you wanted to, actually take the battery out. Now this one, you need to actually pry this little ring up and everything, and it uses the flathead type battery. With the other ones, it's easier to get the battery out, and it uses the nipple type, or the little raised button type battery. But it is a removable battery if you were so inclined to do that. So you keep spare batteries on you if you needed to, or if you had a USB charger, you know, if you drive around in the car or something, you could easily charge this from the car or something like that. It's pretty lightweight. The one thing that's not in the little information here is the weight, so I'll actually have to put that in. I'll put the weight in. But it's not too big for EDC pocket use. It's a little big. I'm not sure if this is the size I'd want to carry around, but you know, if you've got cargo pockets or something, you could carry this around. It's the white light, not the soft light kind of Cree LED. And your various modes are on, half click, half bright, flash. So you've got your three modes basically, and it's a fairly bright light. I mean, you can't really tell the difference right here in the light between the half bright and full bright, but when we go outside later tonight, you'll be able to see it. It's got the, you know, patterning on the handle, but I don't know how grippy that would actually be. These areas give you a little bit of grip though, so if it's wet, the grooves in there, if it gets wet, if you're having trouble, If you got gloves, it's a good size to hold on to. I like that it doesn't disappear in the hand like some other of the smaller EDC type flashlights. But it's a very strong, reliable light, which is what I really like about this. The other model we're going to look at next has some more fancy features, which is what really drew me to the brand. This is kind of a smaller, less fancy, just basic flashlight. But it's a good flashlight. It works really well. Now, as for charging time and everything, I don't know. Because here's the thing. Since I got these, I still haven't had to charge them. This is the battery power, and it's been months since I received these. I still lived in Florida when I got these, and these batteries have held on to their charge really well just sitting around. So I couldn't really tell you exactly how long the charging process takes or anything like that, but it's your standard, 18650 battery. Now this light is not zoomable or anything. It is what it is, and there is your on-camera LED flicker. I don't know the mechanics behind that. I mean, I kind of do about frame rates and stuff, but it's a nice, decent light. It's water resistant, not waterproof, but you can drop it in a puddle and pick it up real quick and it should be okay. I wouldn't take it diving or anything like that. It'll survive the elements a little bit, take it out in the rain, take it to a wet environment and it should be all right. So let's wait for it to get dark and let's take it out in the yard and see how it works outside. So this is just a size comparison of the two samples they sent side by side. So if you're looking just to see what the difference is, and if we were to raise the zoom on that, you see that's the difference basically. So one is a bit bigger, a bit bulkier, a bit chunkier than the other, but you get all those extra features for that. Okay, so I'm outside now. It's a fairly dark night. I have my camera zoomed in a little bit on the fence to avoid the neighbor's rear porch light off in the back over there. So it's going to appear a shorter distance than it is when I actually turn the light on. And for those of you who are not really up on how I do my flashlight tests, I've got some reflective material hung up on the far end of the fence over there. So again, it's going to look a little closer than normal. I don't want you to misjudge the distance of how far we're shining the light or how effective it is as reflecting, but we're going to see how it shows up, that reflective material, way back. Can you even see my hands in front of the camera? No, you can't. Then I've got some glow-in-the-dark Kieranite Starlight material. That's really good glow-in-the-dark stuff that I use for making handles for knives. We're going to use that on the flashlight's brightest setting. We're going to charge it up. We're going to see how it glows and kind of how the glow dissipates over time as we do this. But I'm going to charge up this piece of Kieranite right here. Now you can see, huh? And give it about 10 seconds. And that's a pretty bright glow, from absolutely nothing. So we'll let that go as we do the rest of this test. And we'll kind of take a look at it. Very bright, very bright. Okay. That's about arm's distance away from the camera now. Not bad. Here we go. Now we're going to start with brightest setting. And that's actually pretty good. Now can you see the reflective? I got a few drops of rain on me right now, so we're going to try to do this fast. It's actually 550 cord with reflective parts mixed in with it. And again, because I'm zoomed in, it looks a little closer than it actually is. From my point of view, it's illuminating that reflective cord really nicely. And pretty good, bright view of the whole yard. Let's take it down to the next setting. Now it's easier to see how it illuminates the reflective material because you're not whiting it out with the entire full lumen of the flashlight. But still pretty good. Field of view is good. As I turn it around and I have it right next to the camera here, you can see, unfortunately, there's no zoom setting on this one, so you got what you got. But you get a pretty good field of view. Not great, but pretty good. And then here's our strobe. It's a very fast strobe. As we were doing that, that glow-in-the-dark spot has faded a little bit, but not much. I mean, it's still pretty bright. Let's charge up another spot right below it so we can really compare. So that's how much light it lost compared to how much it charges up right away. So yeah, we're also dealing with some of the, light keeping ability of the glow-in-the-dark material, but just as an illustration of how well it charges the glow-in-the-dark, how much light it actually puts out a really good amount of light. So there's a quick look and test of the Lighting Ever 12-00019. Not a bad flashlight. Definitely for the money, it's a good flashlight. I think there are better models out there. I like the 18, the other one, the bigger one from Lighting Ever that we tested, if I had to pick one against the other. But like I said, for the money and the performance, it's a good flashlight, especially with the features it gives you. Very bright light, gives you your 3 modes. It's got its water resistance. It's got the rechargeable battery. It's got the convenience of taking the end cap off and charging that battery without actually having to take the whole battery out. And lightweight and small size to boot, So I think it's a good value. I don't think it's the best value that Lighting Ever offers, but it's a good value for the money if you want to save a few bucks and get something a little smaller, or maybe you don't need all the fancier features of something bigger. You don't need something a little bit brighter. But thank you again to Lighting Ever for providing the sample for me. The video description for a link to Lighting Ever's products. They make some really good stuff, and like I said, this isn't just a case of I'm doing a video because they gave me a sample. Their products are good. I bought another one of their products all on my own just because it is really cool. And I guess that's the biggest vote of confidence anybody can give a company, right? You are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll be back in real soon.